Well, I didn't think I would be talking about a championship team in July, but the Cavaliers have won the NBA Summer League title. Congratulations to them. They went undefeated in Summer League play. And even though that's the Summer League in general, even if you win the championship, doesn't really mean a whole lot, it was still a really fun team to watch, and it did get me kind of excited. It did remind me a little bit of watching real NBA action. But, going into individual games of the Summer League isn't something that I want to do. I don't think it's something that you guys want to hear me go into. So I'm really just more going to focus on the general play of some of the players that I do think have a potential to have a pretty good impact on the NBA roster. I'm going to be talking about Emoni Bates, Sam Merrill, and Isaiah Mobley. Now, obviously, that isn't any slight on anyone else. There were obviously other players who contributed very well to the Summer League team, like Craig Porter Jr., who is on a two-way contract. Luke Travers, guys like Sharif Cooper, they had their moments as well. They were also very solid. But I do want to kind of not have this video be like 20 minutes long, so I do want to focus on the three that I just mentioned. And I do think that as far as basketball just in general goes for that this team showed is that having a difference maker at guard, at wing, and a difference maker and a difference making big, that is crucial to winning basketball games, obviously. And at the Summer League level, that's what Merrill, Bates, and Isaiah Mobley provided. We're going to start getting into it with Emoni Bates. He did have a rough Summer League game, but like I said, with going into individual Summer League games, making assumptions about how one's career is going to go off of one Summer League game, good or bad, is completely asinine. Doesn't do it, it's not useful discourse. It's just people trying to get clicks and try to be, they're just trying to garner attention for themselves, essentially. But there was notable improvement between his first Summer League game and by the time Summer League in general ended. And that improvement is what got him to the All-Summer League second team selection. He did reach double-digit points in every single game. He wasn't always the best at, he wasn't always on fire shooting the ball, but he did showcase his ability to score even in that rough first game. Watching the Summer League, I am convinced that whether or not Emoni Bates gets to his ceiling, or at least comes close to his ceiling, because if you asked some people a couple years ago, his ceiling was going to be the next KD. I don't know. I don't even know if that's a realistic expectation for Emoni Bates, even optimistically. But even if he gets close to where his ceiling is, I think it's going to be completely up to him watching the Summer League, in my opinion. Now, obviously, his game does still need some tuning, but he did show that he can involve himself in the game when he feels up to it. I do wonder how he is gonna handle shot creation at the next level, because obviously playing Summer League players, it's not the best competition, so you might be able to get away with some more things in the Summer League that you wouldn't be able to do in the NBA. But he showed that he can score. He can obviously have really good shooting nights. He can rebound. He can pass. Maybe you'd like to see a little bit more off-ball movement, but I'm just wondering if that's just me looking at Bates under a microscope just because of the attention around him and the Cavs drafting him. And his defensive game is going to need some work as well. That was pretty evident in some moments during the Summer League. But it is nice to see that Emoni Bates can involve himself. Maybe in sometimes where he feels like maybe if he doesn't feel like he'll be able to get involved as much as he want to, he might completely just not do much on a play where he might want to see that improve a little bit. But I think that is going to be something that coaching staffs can address. It's not my job to coach Emoni Bates. It's just my job to observe and see and just talk about it, essentially. No destination outcome would surprise me as far as where Emoni Bates goes after training camp and after this Summer League. It wouldn't surprise me if he was just stuck around in the G League for most of this year, if not all of it, because the organization has gotten a lot of depth, a lot of players who can shoot from the outside, especially on wing, like guys like Max Strus, Jordan Niang is coming in. So if Emoni Bates doesn't show that pop in training camp and in the early goings like he did in Summer League, then maybe they just put him with the charge and let his game cook and bake in the oven there. Although, again, he could definitely make this NBA roster, and if he plays similar to how he did in this Summer League, there is a universe out there where Emoni Bates is a member of the starting rotation. I don't think it's a very likely universe to happen, but I think it is a possibility. And I do think the most realistic, optimistic ceiling for Emoni Bates this season is going to be a decent rotational piece off the bench. But again, maybe it just so happens that Emoni Bates, his game still needs some more fine tuning. Send him to the Cleveland Charge, get him going there. You also have Sam Merrill, who is signed on a non-guaranteed contract. He was a deadly shooter in Summer League play this year. Didn't really show all that much in his short time with Cleveland last season, but we definitely saw more of the shooting ability here. And he earned an All-Summer League first-team spot. He was solid throughout the entire tournament. And there's always room for shooters on the roster. The Cavs have been bringing in guys who the outside shot is obviously a weapon of theirs. If you know, he does have a spot on the roster with his contract, but I'm not really sure how much time he's going to get if he's just still behind Ricky Rubio. While he did have an impressive showing, I do think that Sam Merrill is obviously a good thing to have in your organization. But again, if he doesn't steal any minutes from Ricky Rubio, then I'm not really sure where he gets all that much playing time, because you can't really, you can try to move him to the 2, but there are other people there that they've had. Karis LeVert play there. They signed a Ty Jerome this offseason. You'd think he might go there as well. If Ricky Rubio is going to be a roadblock in his way, I'm not really sure where consistent, solid, even like bench minutes come for him. And then there's Isaiah Mobley, the older brother to Evan Mobley. He is also on a two-way contract, so the Cavs' 3 two-way players are going to be Craig Porter Jr., Isaiah Mobley, and Emoni Bates. While he wasn't selected to either All-Summer League team, first or second team, he did earn himself some individual hardware by winning the Summer League Finals game MVP, and I think it's well-deserved because there were plenty of instances where he was the most impactful player on the court for either team. There are definitely moments where Isaiah Mobley was going to take over a game, and he did a few times, something that I think that, you know, he might not be able to do that in the NBA because this is summer league competition. If he makes a jump to the NBA level, I don't think he'll be able to put up, 27 points and 11 rebounds or whatever he averaged or got in that finals game. But I do think there are elements of his game that are transferable to the league. Like, he was comfortable taking and making outside shots when necessary, where if somebody was going to leave him wide open beyond the three-point arc, he would take the shot, and he had knocked down a decent number of them. It's not like he's a terrible shooter. He will have to compete with Damian Jones for playing time, but I think whoever truly earns that backup center spot should be solid. They just have to be better than Robin Lopez. That's the bar we're working with right now as far as who's coming off the bench to play true center. Just being better than Robin Lopez automatically makes you it automatically puts the Cavs in a better situation than they were in last season, where Robin Lopez was almost a non-option. It had to be an injury or some other dire circumstance or just a blowout. But if either Damian Jones or Isaiah Mobley can just be better than Robin Lopez, just be a somewhat stable presence on the court, then that should work itself out fine. I think that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did make it this far into it, you can let me know in the comments what you think about the Cavs Summer League team and some of the implications that it could have for the NBA roster, if any. Maybe you think that this is nice, but it's just Summer League play and it doesn't really mean all that much. But once again, thank you for watching. Leave a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more like it, and I will see you at the next one.